Hello, I'm Brenda Boyne, and this is Brenda Boyne. Check this out. My channel slogan is, I care about what you care about, and so that's why I'm making this video. As I make it, I'm still not sure if I'm going to show it, but if you're watching it, I have, because it requires me to share some personal details about my life that I don't want to share with you. But if it could be helpful to somebody, very helpful indeed, well then, I think I'm going to do it. I recently scattered my loved one's ashes, and there were some things that, fortunately nothing went wrong with me, but there are some things that could have gone very wrong and turned what was a soothing and uplifting ceremony into a gruesome and horrific memory that you couldn't get rid of. So I'm going to share these things with you. I really hate the thought of anybody thinking of my loved one and going, ooh. So I'm kind of very uncomfortable with this, but here goes. When you have someone's ashes, they grind them up very, very, very fine to make sure there aren't any bone chips. But there still are some bone chips, so be aware that you're going to see some actual bones that you can recognize as bones. Many people find this quite dramatic. But since it is very fine, every time you interact with it, okay, big clouds of dust come up. So if you're going to transfer from the container that you get the ashes into another container, you might want to rethink that, or you might want to just do it in some sort of area where there's not going to be, it's not going to be all over the carpet. It's not going to be all over the drapes. It's not going to be all over you. I accidentally wore this dress to the funeral. Okay, and it's a faux leather dress, but leather would also work. And I was so glad I did, because you're definitely going to get some on you, and you're going to be able to wipe that right off. So you won't have to deal with it during the reception or the ceremony. And also, so later you won't have to make the choice, do I throw part of my loved one away in the trash, or do I put them in the washing machine? This is a part that I really didn't want to share with anyone, but it's important, so I'm going to share it with you. If your loved one was cremated in the County of Los Angeles by the County of Los Angeles, when you go to pick them up, they'll give you a little square packet, rectangular packet, that's wrapped in butcher paper. The reason it's wrapped in butcher paper is because it is in such a poor container that if you didn't wrap it in butcher paper, it would certainly pop open. So I would advise, if you're going to leave it in that container, do not take the butcher paper off until you get to where you're going, and then still be very careful. It will be sealed with one piece of regular Scotch tape, not even shipping Scotch tape. Inside there will be a bag that is closed with a twist tie, not even a good twist tie, just one like you get off of a loaf of bread, very small one. Okay, so even with the butcher paper, you might knock it over and it might break open. Certainly, if you take it out of the butcher paper, there's a really good chance of knocking it over and it breaking open. So please be very careful. I didn't want to share these things with you once again, but it could really help somebody, and I was so glad that I averted a tragedy. Now I'd like to say another fact that I learned that was not helpful to me, because I could not afford to bury my loved one at sea, but could be helpful to you. If you don't want to scatter the ashes because you're going to get some on you, and they're ashes and there's going to be pieces of bone, and you go at sea, for between $250 and $800, it can be more, you can buy a beautiful urn. It looks like it's ceramic. It's painted lovely. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's made out of salt. They take a salt and they melt it down and they make it into glass and they make it into the urn and then they paint it, and they're just beautiful. And this, you can drop the whole urn in the water at sea. You can't drop another kind of urn. Some places won't even let you drop flowers because they might have some little plastic thing on them. There's all this plastic climate control stuff, and they are deadly serious about it. Okay, they will not let you. You think, oh, well, they'll make an exception. It's just an urn. They're just going to let me drop that in. Like I said, sometimes they won't even let people drop flowers in because there might be a little twist tie on them and stuff. But if you get one of these salt urns, then it will spare you having to actually scatter, and you can drop the whole urn in the water. I hope this helped you. I hope you have my greatest condolences, and I hope your loved one's memory is a great comfort to you. I'm not going to redo this video to get rid of the gym ring and the jam ring because I just don't want to. So I hope that you have a wonderful life and that your loved one's memory is a great joy to you. And I hope this has helped.